Hey YouTube, it's Nadu. I'm back at you again from Skinny Maggie. What's going on? Guess what? Today is September 19th and there are only 50 days left until the presidential election of 2016. This is pretty momentous, I have to say. The other thing that's happening is that in 7 days, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are going to get up and have their first presidential debate as the frontrunners for the respective parties, Democratic and Republican, of course. So there are things in the offing, all right? Listen, if you've been doing any reading, you've seen some things about how Donald thinks that the recent bombings, and you've seen them, news about them, they were recent incidences in New York City and in Jersey, down in a little bit South Jersey, where there were bombings that went off, and then there was a dramatic chase pursuit of a suspect and a capture of the suspect, and then of course in Minnesota there were attacks. So there've been things going on, and of course Donald Trump is using these as fodder to say we need to tighten up our vetting process for allowing immigrants in, only allowing immigrants in who love America and are in sync with American values. So, does anybody know what America's values are? I've been here all my life. I'm not sure if I would know a value if it sat down in front of me. I know what I see when I look at TV. I know what I see when I look at Hollywood. I know what I see when I look around the streets. When I see all those things, I do see values, and I am not sure that it's anything that I want to use to vet persons coming into this country, because they're downright frightening. That's a whole different conversation. Anyway, here we go. The days are running short. There are many things to decide, right? Hillary Clinton knows that this race is getting tighter for reasons that are puzzling. America has always been schizophrenic. Again, to this question of values, I think this country, if you go down south, you'll hear people talk about a certain set of values. Up here in New York area, they'll talk about another set. If you go to the Midwest, there'll be yet another set. And then in the West Coast, there'll be yet another. I do not know that we can find 10 people who will say the same thing about what America's values are. Do you think you know? I'm curious. Tell me. Share with me. I'm very eager to find out. So, I'm going to add to the list of things that I would ask both of these nominees for the presidential seat. What precisely, and I want in detail, are you going to do to let America know that we're safe? Okay, and we're safe. And frankly, I actually don't think they can do anything to ensure that we're safe. I think our borders are crazily amorphous. They can be crossed and vulnerable. And this man and his wall, should he even be able to put up the wall, I won't even begin to address, the ability of people to get in and out. And I don't have a problem with people coming in and out. I think there are as many dangerous people here as anywhere else. There are significant numbers of frightening homegrown Americans as there are anybody else. I think there are scary people from everywhere. Yes, America is large. Yes, there are people from many stripes from all over the place. And yes, America has a particularly grimy footprint all over the world. So yeah, there's a lot of people who are unhappy with America and its foreign policy. So does that make for a big fat mess? You betcha. All right. Does anybody remember the Montana Mountain Men, or whoever they were, those who were holding it down in Montana and saying all kinds of things about taking down government? Anyway, there are frightening people everywhere. So how does this all add up to who we are as a nation and what's going to happen in 50 days? Can you believe it's 50 days? I started doing this 40 days ago, and now we're at the 50-day mark. Has anything changed in your life? What have you been thinking about? What have you been reading about? What have you been looking at? I know for me, this is hectic. Sigh, heavy sigh. So listen, 7 days from now, there are the presidential nomination, 7 days from now will be the debate. Tune in, let's talk. Let's see what both Donald and Hillary have to say about how they're going to lead this country should they get elected into office. Should they get elected into office. And how the heck did we land up here with these two? These two. Wow. America, you need to check yourself because you are wrecking yourself. Anyway, 50 days out. I've got a few people lined up that are going to come and talk to us and share their opinions. I'm excited. I think I mentioned that I did land at least one interview already. There's a few more on the hopper. A few more lined up. I'm also hoping that my website will be up soon so that all of these things can happen. And I also plan to have up some of my writing, creative writing, and maybe, who knows, maybe I'll do some essay writing too. I've got things to say if I could ever organize a thought. Anyway, oh my goodness, I digress. So check it out. 50 days out, 45 days out when we check back in, which will be on September 24th, which will be 2 days before the debate. This has been crazy. Let's see what happens in the news cycle over the next 5 days. I look forward to talking to you. See you then. Boom.